Welkom bij Ouderverstoting Overwinnen. Vandaag weer een hele bijzondere video. Ik denk wel een van de allerbeste. We gaan kijken naar Dr. David Clarke. Hij helpt al 30 jaar lang ouders, voornamelijk moeders, die in een relatie zitten met een narcist, die kinderen hebben en die willen de relatie uitmaken. En hij laat je zien welke stappen moet je nemen om dat voor elkaar te krijgen. In dit webinar laat hij zien wat moet je doen met je kinderen. Want die worden constant al voorbereid door die narcistische andere ouder, kan een man zijn, kan een vrouw zijn, om zich tegen jou te keren. Wat wordt er normaal gesproken gezegd? Je mag niks slechts zeggen over die andere ouder. Maar wat moet je dan? Als je niets zegt, is de kans groot dat je kinderen zich tegen je gaan keren. Dit webinar is ook goed voor ouders waarbij de kinderen al afstand hebben genomen. En als je eenmaal terug hebt gekregen wat je kan zeggen, wat je kan doen. Hij geeft een recommendation voor een programma wat hij heeft. Een aantal boeken die hij verkoopt. Ik heb ze nog niet gelezen. Maar ik nodig je uit om daar kennis van te nemen. Wie weet is het wat voor je. Je zit in een situatie van wanhoop. Hè? Heel veel ouders spreek ik. En jeugdzorg helpt ze niet. Rechtszaken werken niet. Dus die zitten volledig in wanhoop. Zien hun kinderen jaren niet. En krijgen vaak het advies. Trek je maar terug. Dat is beter voor de kinderen. En wie weet gaan ze het zelf zien. Nou, in heel veel gevallen gaan ze het zelf niet zien. Waar het ook over heeft is dat dus die kinderen dus vanaf jongs af aan al tegen jou op worden gezet. Dus heb een open geest. Luister hiernaar. Pas het toe. Ik vind het heel belangrijk. Een hele goede uitzending. Ik heb het gekregen van een ouder. Die aangaf dat dit een hele goede was. Ik heb het gezien. Ik dacht, jullie moeten hier kennis van nemen. Dus veel plezier met het kijken. En geef je feedback. Laat het zien op YouTube in de comment section. Schrijf je ook in op Patreon. Je kan je gratis inschrijven. Daarmee kan ik jullie berichten sturen. Kan jullie bereiken met de nieuwste inzichten. Je kan ook de podcast steunen daar. Zoals altijd op YouTube. Subtitles zijn verkrijgbaar voor de personen die dat nodig hebben. Dus enjoy.
Ready to go? Okay. Thanks for your patience. This is Dr. Nark, also known as Dr. Clarke. We had a few technical difficulties. Shocker. Technology is not always our friend, but we are on now. Welcome to the first live stream, and frankly, first webinar we've ever done of 2024. And welcome to those of you that are watching the replay. We always tape these, so if you can't watch it live, you can watch it later. Well, as we start, I'll check and see whose people are... Oh, Niagara Falls. Oh, for heaven's sake. I took the blonde at Niagara Falls one time. We went on the Maid of the Mist. I kissed her beautiful face. We were both soaked. That was a good day. Yes, it was. All right. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you. It started. Vieira, yes, we're starting. We're a bit late, but I was telling Phil Dugas of Dugas Creative Marketing that the really big stars, such as I am, always make their people wait. You know, the audience wait for a few minutes. I'm kidding. We just couldn't get started, but we're good now. Okay. Well, let's start with a little bit of a little intro here. I hope the NARC didn't ruin your Christmas, your holidays. As we know, NARCs ruin everything, but they especially love to ruin the holidays. The NARC won't take a backseat to anyone, not even the baby Jesus. Christmas should be all about him, shouldn't it? The NARC should be Bob-Miss, Ted-Miss, or Steve-Miss. Okay, anyway. But holidays are over. We're starting off the new year. Now, today I'm going to do two things. One, I'm presenting, of course, this webinar, a very important topic. The topic is how to keep the NARC from turning your kids against you, because that's what every NARC wants to do. Leaving a NARC is incredibly awful. Those of you that have done it know that. Necessary, no question about it, but awful. Leaving a NARC without your children because he's turned them against you is indescribably awful. I can't tell you how many moms I've talked to over the years who've lost their children to the NARC. I'm going to help you fight back tonight and protect your relationship with your children. That's what this webinar is all about. Now, the second thing that we're very excited about tonight, after my teaching and interaction with you beautiful people, I have a special announcement for a brand new anti-NARC product that's releasing today. And a major theme of this new product is going to be protecting your relationship with your children, keeping the NARC from turning them against you. There are other parts of it, but that's a key part. More on that a bit later. So hang in there. You don't want to miss that announcement. Now, here's how we're going to do this. I've got sections of material, of course, to present in this webinar. And, of course, you'll be listening. And please interact. After each section, I'm going to pause and see what you folks have to say. And comments you've got, questions. And I'll be interacting, and I'll go back to the next segment, and we'll go on like that. So we have a dialogue. I always love the interaction. And I want to tell all of you right now that over the last probably 4 or 5 years, especially since we started all the social media, God's been very faithful working through you to give me a lot of incredible content. That's why it resonates with people, because you know what you're talking about. The emails, the texts, the phone sessions I do with you, your experiences, God is using you to help many other people. And that's exactly how God works. All right, let's look at alienating your children, which is what the narc is doing right stinking now if you still live with the narc, and even if you don't. Alienating your children, turning them against you, is the narc's ultimate form of abuse. It is evil. It is demonic. It is, frankly, inexcusable. The narc spends years brainwashing your children. It's not enough for your kids to prefer him over you. Okay, that's certainly what he wants, but he wants far more than that. The narc wants your children to ignore you, to blame you for everything, to reject you, to hate you. Don't think it's anything less than those things. He has no empathy and no conscience, and he wants to win. So when you leave him, which I want you to do, and divorce him, which I want you to do, and God wants you to do, he will have total vindication, because he can say and he will say, look, her own children hate her. I've heard that come out of narcs' mouths in my office. And right after they say that, they're excused out of my office. When I used to see them, I don't anymore. Now I'm going to cover several ways the narc alienates, and then how you can respond. What do you do to defeat it? And to turn your kids, even if they're brainwashed right now, 20, 30%, 80%, 100%, how to begin to turn them back to you. Okay, number one. The narc abuses you in front of the kids. Now, it's often in private, but it can be in front of them as well. So what do you do when the narc abuses you in front of the kids? Bottom line, you're going to speak up at the time with brief, assertive statements. You cannot afford to be quiet and simply tolerate the abuse when he's doing it in front of the kids. You'll lose your kids if you do that. You may not speak up every time, but you're going to have to speak up a good part of the time. You don't, the kids will lose respect for you, and they'll believe you deserve the abuse. Now, an adult would know different. These are not adults. These are minor children. And so they'll side with the narc if you don't respond and give them an alternative point of view, which is in fact the truth, and stand up for yourself. Now, later, that's when it's happening in front of the kids. If he's chosen that venue, fine. You're going to speak up in front of them. Later, in private, with each child, you're going to debrief the abusive incident. You're going to go over the abusive event. You're going to speak truth about the narc again. And then you can let the child vent, ask questions, and assure the child you will say nothing to the narc. That's the key. We'll say, Bobby, Timmy, Susie, Margaret, I'm talking here about Dad, being very honest with you. Ask me any questions, and what we talk about is in the vault. I will never say anything to your father. So you're going to have to fight back. Don't assume the kids will figure it out. They're not going to figure it out. What they'll figure out is, I'm going to go with the narc. So when the narc abuses you in front of your own children, and he'll do that, that's how brazen they are, you speak up in front of the kids as many times as you can. You're not going to do it every time, but as many times as you can. As you get stronger, you're going to be able to do it more. And I want you to say things like this. And again, these are brief statements of truth. You're not going to have an ongoing dialogue and go back and forth with the stupid narc. They're very good with words. They're charming. You're going to get blowback for these statements. You know you will. Okay, bring it on. Because you're saving your children and your relationship with them. You're going to say the comment and you're going to move on. Say things like, that's with a voice that's out loud. Kids are there, narc's there, he's just dissed you. That's not true. That was disrespectful. That was mean. You can say, that's what I think. Feel free to disagree, because the narc doesn't like any disagreement because he's right about everything. My feelings are valid, because he'll diss your feelings and say you have no right to them. You can say, if I'm fat and ugly, what are you doing here? If he has a nerve to, and he will, cut down your appearance in front of your own children, you fire back. What are you doing here? That's not my fault. You can say, that's your fault. Now again, you're going to get backlash. For everything I mentioned tonight, you're going to get backlash. You're going to have to be strong enough to deal with that, because you're protecting your children. So if he chooses to do this in front of the narc, in front of the kids, You're going to respond in front of the kids as many times as you can. Those simple little statements can make a big difference because now your children see, okay, there's tension here. There's a different point of view. Mom's standing up for herself. If you take it, and many of you will have this experience, your own children, they'll side with the narc, and they, because it's been modeled and mom doesn't say anything, they will then begin to diss you, criticize you, disrespect you, abuse you. I've heard that a million times. So we're fighting that as well. Nobody gets the opportunity to disrespect mom without mom responding. Okay, that's the first little segment here. And again, in this anti-narc product, I'm going to be revealing in a little bit here. This is a small slice. We're going to go into great detail in this product in terms of saving your kids. Let's see what's going on here on the stream here. Kids are interacting here, yeah. The kids will try to be who they think is the powerful one. It's exactly right, Beck. Exactly right. Whoever has the power, whoever has the strength. And if you're the doormat, you lose. The strong one wins, even though he's an abusive jerk and he's destroying them. Kids don't know that. They will go with the more powerful one. Who can protect me? Even if he's treating them badly too. When you debrief with the kids, how do you avoid making it sound like daddy bashing? You do your best. You're not gonna bash him with any negative comments. You're simply going to tell the truth. It's a good question here. You're going to say, I'm not interrupting your relationship with your father, but you need to know the truth about your father. All right? He's bashing you to death. There must be a response. And you're going to say, look, here's what happened. Dad said this. That was sinful. That was wrong. That was not biblical. That was hurtful to mom. I want you to know that so they know. Now they have two competing situations. That's what we want. It makes it a little confusing. Fine. All right? Because if they're not confused, they're going to side with the narc. So you're not bashing him. You're simply telling the truth, and they'll figure it out. Everything Satan does to God, the narc does to you. Yeah, boy, you're not kidding. Lies, legal battles, smear campaign. That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. I tell my kids, you mess with me, you mess with God. I like that. You have to have the respect of your children. Now, you don't know the blonde. Of course, like I know the blonde, my Sandy, of 42 years now. Almost 42 years. She's tough. I gave her 4 children out of the goodness of my heart. I couldn't keep my hands off her. So we ended up with 4 kids before we realized that we could stop it anyway. So we wanted all 4. But she's tough. And you have to be tough with 4 kids. And we have wonderful kids. Don't get me wrong. 3 girls and a boy. Emily, Leanne, Nancy, and Will. But she had to be tough. She had the respect of those children. But also, since I'm a normal guy, I wouldn't allow any dissing of mom or disrespect of mom. So you have to be tough. And you'll start slow. You're not going to be good at this. You're going to gather steam, and it will make a difference. Okay, looking at all the different things here, trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah. All right. Good question. What age should the kids be before you start trying to explain it? Early on. I'm telling you, early on. Now, when they're 1, 2 years old, they don't get it. But when they have the power of speech and they can understand what's happening, that's when you start. Because the narc's already started. You're already kind of behind the 8 ball. Oh, no. Now, you have to use words that they can understand. But I'm not in favor of waiting. All right? This gets awfully dicey because, in a normal home, of course, you'd never have to do this. We want them to love their dad and respect their dad. And there's modeling going on. You don't have that luxury. When you're married to a narc, he's poisoning the children against you from very early on. So I would say 4, 5, 6 years old, yeah, you better crank it up and let them know this is what's happening. It makes it hard on them. But what's far worse than that is them becoming like the narc and treating you badly. Okay, let's move on to my second point here, and then and this lady says you can't wait. Right, don't wait. Again, I can't tell you how many moms I've talked to, and some dads, who waited too long, and now the kids have turned against them. I think this product I'm going to recommend is going to be helpful even in turning things around if he's already won, and it seems like you've been cut off by your own kids. Okay, now if they're adults, we have a book for that, Adult Children Who Break Your Heart. If they're still minors, I think this product will also help with that, and we're going to come up with some more material that we may be sharing in another live stream if you've already lost them. Okay, point number 2, and then I'll get back to what you're going to say. Point number 2, the narc trashes you in private. Oh, narcs love to do it when you're not around, and behind your back, they'll talk to your kids and criticize you and cut you down. So behind your back, when he's alone with your children, could be just one child, could be several, the narc will mock you, belittle you, and lie about you. And you'll do this for years. You need to be aware of that. And this is what I'm talking about. That you have to check in with your kids while I'm bringing this up and make sure if you know what's happening, you can counter it. You have to counter what the narc is doing. He'll say things to your kids like this. Mom's not that smart. Of course, he's brilliant. Mom gets way too upset. Of course, he's the one upsetting you. Mom is unstable. Mom is crazy. Mom doesn't love you. Can you imagine? Evil. This is like Satan talking. Mom works so she doesn't have to be around you. Can you imagine someone saying that to your child? It happens all the time with the narc. He'll say whatever it takes. These are lies. He'll say, Mom is at fault for our marriage problems. Of course, he'll make it clear Mom is at fault for our marriage problems. How about this one? Mom didn't want you. Oh my goodness. This is their dad. And so it carries weight. This must be counteracted. Mom's having an affair with Mr. Smith down the street. Seriously? They don't know any better. Mom told me you'll never amount to anything. A lie from the pit of hell, which is frankly where most narcs are going. But you know what? We have to do, before that point, we have to save the kids. He'll say that to your kids. All lies. But again, this is their dad. And most of you know this, maybe all of you who live with a narc can sell a lie like nobody else on the face of the earth. They're brilliant at lying. So this is my dad talking, and he'll use something they'll use a sliver of truth. Mom had a meltdown or was crying because he caused it. He won't say that. He'll use a sliver of truth. And of course he's very persuasive. He believes his own lies, and so it's pretty ironclad. Now, to combat these private attacks, you need to create a relationship with your children based on truth and privacy. Tell each of your children, and again, all these strategies and many, many more are going to be in the new product, but tell each of your children something like this. Your father is going to tell you things about me that aren't true. Lay it on the table because it's the truth. And again, you're not bashing him. It's simply what's going to happen. And you continue, and he'll ask you to not tell me what he said. So head him off with the past. It's exactly what a narc will do. I'm sharing this with you, Timmy. Don't say anything to your mom. She'll just deny it. Okay? So let them know. He'll try that. You continue. When Dad says something about me that is mean and negative, or anything you wonder about that bothers you, please come to me privately and tell me what he said. I will always tell you the truth. You tell your child, I will always tell you the truth. And I will tell your father nothing about our talks ever. See, this is the truth. They need to know that they can come to you at any time about Dad, what he said, what he did, something that bothers them, especially when it concerns you. And you will have that conversation be absolutely private. And again, you'll have to also prep your children to say, look, Dad's going to maybe come to you because narcs are sneaky smart. And he'll say, Timmy, Susie, he'll come back to you and he'll ask you if you've talked to me about this incident. He'll ask you if I've questioned you about him. And you're going to instruct your own children to lie. You're going to say, don't tell them that. Now, if they do, it's not the end of the world. All right, if they're small, they won't be able to combat that. But you know what? At the very least, we now have the truth being told. And it'll make them wonder about their dad. Well, they should wonder about their dad because he's a dirtball and he's a narc. And we're actually trying to create distance between them and him. You will also tell your children, I will never ask you to reject your father or not have a relationship with him or spend time with him. This is your father. I just want a healthy, close relationship with you. You can have a relationship with me and a separate relationship with your father. This is difficult for younger children to grasp. All right? But as they get older, because you're telling them the truth, and they have maybe these two competing points of view, that's better than just believing the narc completely. And as they get older, they'll stay close to you, and then they'll figure their father out because you planted the seeds. And you're defending yourself because nobody else is going to do that. And tell each child as well, whenever you want some help, some ideas on how to deal with your father, come to me. I'll help you learn how to handle them. What we want for each child in the home of a narc before you leave, and by the way, you're leaving him. Absolutely. That's what all my materials, my whole ministry is about. You're married to a dyed-in-the-wool narc, full-blown narc. He's not changing. He's destroying you and your kids. You're leaving. So this is all before you leave. He won't stop after you leave, but we have materials for that too. But you are leaving him. But before you leave, you have to be honest with the kids. And we want them to know, okay, this is my dad. I love my dad, but this is the truth about my dad. All right. He has these qualities. I can't trust him, and I'm going to have to learn how to manage him. And you can teach them how to do that. And on a regular basis, ask each child privately, because some kids, and you know your kids better than I do, are going to be reluctant to come to you, even if it's something that you've invited them to do. And so you say to each child on a regular basis, hey, has dad said anything? This is privately, not the group, one child each, one at a time. Has dad said anything to you that you wonder about that bothered you this last couple of days? Just a check in. Sometimes when you make the offer, the timing will be right with God's help. And they'll say, well, Mom, yeah, this morning in the car, Dad said, this really mean thing about you. That is gold. That's what you want to hear. And you can say, okay. And you don't express a whole lot of anger about the dad. That throws it off. It's simply, Timmy, that's a lie. I'm glad you mentioned that to me. I will say nothing to your dad. That's not true. Here's the truth. All right. Again, this checking in can be very helpful, and sometimes they'll give you an answer. Okay, let me check in and see what's going on. Check our time. We're fine. All right. See what's going on here. Oh yeah, moms do it too. Sure. This goes both ways. Most of you know by now, and I'm not apologizing for this. I refer to the narc, the man as the narc, because that's most of the time. That's my ministry. I deal with women that are married to narcs. However, plenty of moms are narcs too. So these principles go both ways. If it really bothers you and you can't seem to get it straight in your head, that's fine. Find someone who has a ministry that is focused on men that are married to narc women. That's just not me. Anyway, but these principles apply too. My daughter has developed BPD, borderline, too bad. Chose to stay with him. Yep, her choice. Even though he was the most abusive to her. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yep. That's identifying with the abuser. You know what? If she's an adult now, I'm assuming, yeah, get the adult children who break your heart book. And that's the way maybe to bring her back over time. This can take years. But you know what? What I'm doing tonight and then the product I'm going to mention is trying to head that off while they're still in the home or they're still minors. You were hoping to catch them. Sometimes you can't do that. And so it's a longer term proposition. My kids say they feel like I'm trying to get information about their dad from them when I check in with them. Yeah. The answer is yes, I am. You make no bones about it. It'll feel weird, especially if they're not used to you doing that. You can say, look, guys, yes, my job is to protect you as your mom and frankly protect the relationship I have with you and to speak truth. Your father doesn't speak truth. And so you'll have a relationship with him. That's fine. But yes, it's up to you. You don't have to share anything with me. I'm just asking, and it will be private. But yes, I'm asking for information about your dad. You don't apologize for that. They don't even get it initially. You're trying to save them from his clutches. Oh yeah, the ex using my kids to spy on me. Exactly. Oh yeah. He sets them up and they'll check your email, they'll check your phone, they'll check when you're on the phone talking to a friend, and they'll report back to him. If you find out that's happening, you're going to have to deal with your own children in a very direct and aggressive way. Frankly, there are going to be consequences for that activity. And you'll have a private conference with them and say, look, it's come to my attention. You're spying on me and you're giving information to your father. Now, he probably has threatened them. He probably has scared them. Maybe he's got them on the team. And so you're not going to be rude to them or offensive. It's simply that is unacceptable. All right. And let's find a way to strategize here. Dad's going to ask you, what happened here when you go back home. And I'm just asking you to not say anything. All right. And what you're going to do until they get it, you're going to have to just screen off all your personal conversations and password protect things because they're spies. Now, eventually, hopefully, we can turn them. But it's exactly how the narc operates. And you're going to tell those kids that's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. If your dad wants to know something about me, he can ask me. Of course, you'll say nothing to him. Oh, yeah, here's an arc that sent a flash drive to erase my info off my phone. Oh, for heaven's sake. I called him out and he was livid. Of course he was angry that you caught him doing it. They'll do anything. Anything. Yeah, my gorgeous niece has become a 10-year-old spy. That is exactly right. Oh my goodness. He'll twist them. And of course, he makes the kids feel like and believe that this is okay. This is not okay. It's wrong. Now, you're not going to use, I mean, you'll say to the kids, I am never going to use you as a spy on your father. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care what he's saying to anybody. I'm never going to ask you. And frankly, don't tell me unless you want to. I don't want to hear it. However, I'm asking you to not do that to your father. And you can train. It's part of the training. When Dad pumps you for information after we have a visit or after we've been together in the home, he'll do it when you're living with him. The spy thing. You can just simply say, put him off. Here are some things you can say. Don't want to talk about that. Nothing happened today. Nothing to report. And prepare them for the backlash. Because if they've been a spy and they stop being a spy, okay, he's going to make them pay for it. And then you'll tell them, see, that's what I'm talking about. Your dad treating you so terribly for not tattling on me. Kids understand tattling. They understand being another kind of a narking on people. Okay, we're trying to stop that best way we can. Yeah, adult children have been turned against her. Yep. Get adult children who break your heart. That's for the adult child. Yeah. Oh, that's one lady wants she wants to get her baby pictures back. Oh yeah, the narc will take everything from you. Everything. You don't ask, you don't beg. All right? You gotta let that go. Now, if you have any access to the home, legally, then you can go in there and steal them. Fine, but I wouldn't do that. Yeah, coercive, asking the kids about mom. The pressure is bad on a 14-year-old. It absolutely is, and you will tell your kids, and you're very honest about this. This is a terrible situation. I know that you're in with your father and with me, and you're probably wondering, who you can trust. And you're trying to sell them on the fact, honestly, let's pray about this. I want you to believe you can trust me. And you can further tell them, if you can trust them, there are things in place here where I'm not tolerating this. You're going to see more aggressive actions on my part. And that's part of my program, and I'm going to be selling you, hopefully, if you want to buy it, the videos series I've got where you're going to be modeling. And this is a part of the process I'm not covering tonight, but you're going to be speaking up in front of the narc on a number of different fronts in response to his many areas of abuse, variety of abuse, and your kids are going to notice that, and that's going to help them realize, oh, this is wrong. Mom is speaking up. Mom is assertive, and they'll begin also to come to your side. So it's not just what I'm talking about here. This is important, but it's a whole variety of things. It's a whole strategy you've got to do to protect that relationship. Oh yeah, older children trying to convince younger children that something's wrong with mom at the narc's bidding. Again, you'll be very clear with the younger children, all right, that's exactly what the older children are doing, and to be wary of it and to learn how to manage that. You are fighting for your children and your relationship with your children. Yeah, some folks are coming up here. Yeah, I think this is maybe TikTok over here. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, as a Christian, this dear lady says, I kept the peace in the household. Yeah, I know. And the church will often tell you that. I'm not saying that because that's not what the Bible teaches. All right. Jesus Christ didn't come to be a peacemaker. He was an agitator, and that's what you're going to be. Because if you keep the peace, like most great Christian women will do, keep it quiet. This is their father. I think it'll hurt them if they turn against him. No, it won't. We actually want your children to turn against the narc. You're not going to make them do that, but over time, we want them to figure it out so they're not like him and they're not turning against you. Because if he turns them against you, guess who they're going to be like? Him. That's the last thing we want. So we're changing the plan here. And even what many churches teach, which is great for a normal home. Of course, in a normal home, you wouldn't do any of this. You wouldn't have to. You work as a team, as a mom and a dad. That's what Sanya and I did. We were outnumbered anyway. Okay, that's because we're both normal and we love each other. And we're not narcs. You have a narc on your hands, and it's a completely different operation. All right? You're actually going to be agitating and stirring things up. It makes it hard for the kids in the short term. Of course it does. But that's far better than the alternative, them siding with the narc. Oh, yeah, these mandated parenting courses, which are a joke and they're secular anyway, taught never to talk against the other parent. They said it would hurt the kids. These people are idiots. They don't realize that that's a normal situation. Okay, divorce happens even with two normal people who love their kids and they have to work it out. That's what they're talking about, hopefully. I'm not talking about that. You have a narc on our hands who is evil, who's distorting the truth and turning your own kids against you. You are going to talk against him. Absolutely. You're going to say, here's the truth. Here's the truth. Dad is wrong. Dad is a liar. Dad said this. That's not true. Now, not with any emotion, typically just straight across. So the kids begin to go, oh, and they begin to doubt their father. That's exactly what we want. So forget those you have to go to the dumb mandated parenting courses. If you got a narc, just sit through, check the box, and forget it. You are fighting for your children. Otherwise, and there's plenty of dear souls here that could testify. You end up leaving the narc and you leave alone. And all your children, or even one child is a horrible tragedy, can't stand you, will have nothing to do with you. And the boy's a narc and the girl marries a narc and you can't see the grandkids and the narc's over here loving it. He's giving them money, he's having time, and you're on the outside. That's what we're fighting here, tooth and nail. And I have no apology for that. We are fighting. This is a war, and you're going to have to get into it. And if you're a sweet, kind, empathic person, this is not going to be easy for you. But you don't have to kick the door in, be as tough as the blonde is, or my Emily. You want it tough? Emily's tough. Anyway, and she's wonderful. But you know what? Not everybody is naturally assertive. Okay, you don't have to be. It's getting these words out of your mouth and being assertive that makes all the difference. That's right. Tooth and nail, no apologies. Veronica, that's right. This lady, yeah, Kim's living it. She knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Listen to this. Listen for Jeannie. I didn't speak out against the ex. I lost all 4 sons to my ex. That's what I'm talking about. Now, there's a way with the adult children book to bring them back, but you know what? I'm trying to head off the pass. Okay, let me do one more section here, and then I'll do more interaction. Thanks for this great input. Number 3, the narc undermines your authority in your own home. A normal man would never do this. Often the narc will override, cancel your parenting decisions. He wants to control. He wants to be the sole authority. And he wants you to have zero power and zero respect. This is how he turns the kids against you. See, the kids will side. As one viewer indicated, they'll side with the powerful one every time. He'll say to your kids, in private as well as in front of you, forget what your mother said. You don't have to listen to her. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah. You don't have to do your homework. You can go to the party. You can watch this TV show, which is inappropriate and past your bedtime. He doesn't care. He's undermining you at every turn. He doesn't care if it's not good for the child. He has no idea if it's good for the child or not, and doesn't care. It's good for him, he thinks. Now, this kind of a narc, I call the Santa Claus narc or the hero narc, won't punish the kids for lying, for swearing, for drinking, for using drugs, for stealing, or much of anything, because he wants to be their best friend. And that's how he's going to bond with them, giving them all the stuff they want and undermining your authority. You're trying to hold the line, and he's undermining you. You tell each of your children this. And again, for younger kids, you do it as well as you can, using words they can understand. Your father and I often disagree on parenting decisions. I think you've seen that. So you tell them, I will operate separately from him as a parent. Do not listen to any pastor or any Christian counselor or any person anywhere who says, and you're married to a narc, well, he's the father. The Bible says he's the authority. He's the leader, and you have to listen to him. No, you don't. Submission does not apply when you're married to a miserable scum of the earth narc. Are you kidding me? That's a normal home. Fine. Sandy and I made decisions together, and I often deferred to her because I was working, building a career, and she was raising the kids most of the time. What am I going to say? But when it came down to a decision, and this happened very rarely, and we talked about it and we prayed about it, it happened maybe twice in our parenting career. Well, I'd say, we need to do it this way. And she said, okay. And there was submission. That's because I love her. You don't have that with a narc. That does not apply. So you're going to tell your kids, I will operate separately from him as a parent. When you're with me, you're telling them, and he's not around, your father's not around, I will make the decisions. If you choose to follow my decisions, your choice, I'll reward you. If you choose to not follow my decisions, I'll provide consequences. The same way God deals with us. Here are the standards in our home when I'm with you, and these are godly, biblical standards. If you follow them, you'll be rewarded. If you do not, there will be consequences. You continue. When your father and I are both present and he makes a decision I don't agree with, which is certainly going to happen, I'll say out loud, I disagree. You can choose to do what your father says, but understand, I will not support his decision or do anything to carry it out. Now, this is a sinful decision, of course. Again, you can say, look, it's up to you. And it's an awkward spot for you. You can choose to do what your father says. And again, you're also going to prepare your children for if they choose to do what you say and not your father, what the father says, the narc, there's going to be heck to pay. There's going to be backlash. But you will tell them, I will stand in for you. I'll take the heat. I will take the hits. I'll protect you. I will stand up for you, and we'll get through. So you're not just going to let them be out there all alone. And you can give some examples to your children. For example, Timmy, Susie. It's always Timmy and Susie. Anyway, if your father says you don't have to do homework and you choose to not do it, okay, that's your choice. You and your father will have to deal with the consequences. Because what the narc loves to do is undermine your authority, have the child, for example, not do homework, and then guess who has to clean up the mess the next day? Talk to the teacher, get the assignment done. No, you're not, and you'll tell your child, not doing that. That'll be your father's responsibility. The narc won't come through, and maybe the kid will realize, oh, you clean up his mess, nothing will change. So you and your father will have to deal with the consequences. If it's a bad grade, so be it. I won't talk to the teacher. You fail in the class, that's on you. Talking to the teacher, not doing that. Not in this case. Helping you to make up work at the last minute, I will not bail you out. I will not. And the child realizes, oh, okay, that may help them make a better decision. Also, here's another example. Timmy, Susie, you'll say, if your father says, and narcs love to do this, if the narc says you can stay up late on a school night or even a weekend night, like super late, fine. I will give you the option of going to bed early. If you choose to not do that and do what your father says, I'll go to bed. Your father can get you up in the morning and get you ready and get you to school. That's on him. I won't be doing that. So you're teaching them their decisions have consequences, and you're also building respect. You're not going to clean up the mess that the narc made. All right? As I've said very clearly, they're going to say, but Mom, if I say no to Dad about anything, he'll take my head off. He'll yell, he'll scream. I've seen him do that to you. But see, what you've already done with the process I'm going to lead you through when you buy my video series, what I want to talk about in a few minutes, you're already showing assertiveness and how to speak back. You're modeling how to handle the narc. So that's part of the process. But you're also going to teach your kids how to deal with the backlash. And there will be backlash. Whenever the narc doesn't get his way and he sees the kids turning away from him and towards you, oh yeah, heck to pay. But you tell your kids, I'm your person. I got you. Mom's got your back. Or if you're a dad, Dad's got your back. I will stand up for you. I will interview. You come to me every single time, and I'll face that guy down, and I'll tell him where to get off, and they'll know you have their back. And that's important. Okay, let's check in on some things that are happening here. Oh, 20. Yeah, this guy's got 22 cameras. I shouldn't laugh. That's exactly how narcs operate. Let me tell you this. Outside cameras, outside your home, okay, fine. That's for the burglars, whatever else, no problem. Listen to me. You do not allow cameras inside your home. And you'll tell the narc and the kids that. No, he's spying on you. You're not going to have that. That's an invasion of privacy. I think that's in the Constitution. No, he can set them up all he wants. You know, like in the spy movies, you can spray paint the cameras. You can tape it over. You can dismantle them every day if you have to. You're not allowing cameras in your home, period. Oh, the backlash there. You are an American citizen. Most of you are Americans. You're not going to allow it. They love the cameras. Yeah. Yeah, they love to record you too. Okay, fine. You can record him right back. If he loves recording, hey, you get your phone out, you're going to record him. And sometimes that can be used in court. No problem with that. See what's happening here. Yeah, more about the cameras in the home. Not a fan. No, ever. I wouldn't allow that in my home. Are you kidding me? This lady says it's creepy. Of course it's creepy. Yeah, boy. Absolutely. Come on. Oh, where did you get the adult children book? I'm glad you asked. I'm not sure if that was Sandy. Anyway, adult children who break your heart. These are the adult children the narc has turned against you or have turned against you for any reason. Prodigals. On my website, davideclarkephd.com. That's Clark with an E, davideclarkephd.com. And that is also where you'll find all my resources, including the new product I'm about to mention. Okay. Yeah, audio, video cameras. Yeah, not anymore, Agnes. Listen to me. Not anymore. You tell the kids, I'm done with this. We're not going to have cameras in this home. He'll have the world's biggest fit. Well, he can't call the police. All right? It's your home too, and you will not allow that. These people are worse than idiots, spying on everybody. Yeah. This lady has a 16-year-old. Yeah, boy, 16. You know, teenagers are difficult enough. And if the narc has turned the teenager against you, oh my goodness. Now, if you're still living with a narc, okay, this is what this material's for. You can watch the replay and get the new product. It's going to make a huge difference as you start fighting back. You're fighting to break the trauma bond. You're fighting to get strong enough to leave the narc, and you're also fighting for your own children. All right? And you can turn these kids around. It may take some time, okay? It won't be overnight as they start to see you coming around. Oh, you can buy a camera detector on Amazon. Oh, I like that because they can hide these things. Oh, yeah. It'd be worth the money to see if you can find that because he'll have a pinhole somewhere. It's like a spy movie. You know what? Yeah. You need to figure it out. And if you have to pay someone to come into your home, Radio Shacks are gone now. I don't know. There's a place near our home. I forget what it's called. Batteries Plus, whatever. People that are techie, whatever. Ask your pastor, ask friends, come into your home and do a sweep. You're getting rid of those dumb cameras. Let's see what else we got here. Tracker Detect is a free app that helps find trackers. Sounds good to me. Hey, I'm learning things. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, eavesdropping on the phone. Oh, yeah. FaceTime calls. Oh, yeah. You know what? Narcs love doing that. Not much you can do about that. You'll be careful. But again, we want to make these private conversations. You may be in the home or maybe you're separated or divorced. Yeah. We want these to be private. And you'll tell your children, I'm asking you that these need to be private. You want to make sure they're private as much as you can. If they're already on his team, okay, you do the best you can. We want those to be private conversations. Yeah. Yeah, cameras in the computers. Oh yeah, they'll put them everywhere. Good point. Yep. In my car, tracking. Yeah, we're not allowing, and I make this point in the video series I'm about to recommend. Yeah. You will not allow yourself to be tracked. Disable any tracking device on your phone, he'll say, I want to protect you. I want to know you are. No, that's crazy. He's tracking you. Wants to know where you are at all times so he can do whatever he wants to do. And no tracking on the vehicle either. Phone. You're going to disable all those things. Not going to allow it to happen. And you'll have to figure it out. Your kids, if the kids have phones, you're very careful with your children. And again, if they are turning on you and disrespecting you, the most effective weapon in the world with a teenager who has a phone is, guess what? The stinking phone. Give me your phone. It's like asking to give you their right arm. Too bad, Timmy, Susie. You made that mistake. You lied to your father. You're spying for your father. You disrespected me. Give me your phone. Oh, kiss of death. And you can tell them, Timmy, Susie, you never have to lose a minute of your screen time, which I'm also monitoring, and you have to earn it with homework and chores and how you treat me. Never have to lose a minute of that phone time if you obey my rules, which are God rules, if you respect me. That's your choice. But if you choose to disobey, I'm taking your phone. For 2 hours is like an eternity. The rest of the night, too stinking bad. Okay, I can't wait any longer. I'm going to tell you about this brand new product, and then I'm going to cover, if I have time, the last section of what I was going to do. But let's get to this. I'm talking about it, and I think you're going to love it. I do. It's a brand new anti-narc product releasing, in fact, today, January 24. It's an online video series that we're calling From Codependent to Independent. 21 things you must do before leaving your narcissist, small n. This video series is one of the most powerful and practical programs I have ever developed. Put a lot of time into this, and I think it's going to make a major difference in the lives of many people that are living with narcs. 21 videos focus on getting you and your children ready to leave the narc. Look, if you want to spend another year or 2 or 3 with the narc, praying and hoping he'll change, you can do that. God will allow you to do that. It will be another year of misery and destruction. Another year of the narc working as hard as he can to turn your kids against you. Time is important because the narc never stops. But like many women that I talk to in my phone advice sessions and interact with on email and text, maybe you're ready to fight back against your narc. And that's what this series is about, fighting back. You're done taking it, you're fighting back. To fight for your identity, which he's taken. To fight to destroy the trauma bond, which he has developed. To fight for your relationship with your children, and he's turning them against you. A huge part of this series is protecting your relationship with your children. To fight for your freedom. If you're ready to take action and get strong enough to leave the narc, you're ready to enroll now in my online course. And to buy this video series, like anything else, go to my website, daviddclarkephd.com. That's Clarke with an E. And when you buy the video series, get this. We had to do extra work, but this is for you. When you buy the video series, which again is at a very reasonable price point, you'll see video series like this for much more, twice as much. We're trying to be reasonable. But when you buy the video series, you also get, as a bonus, free, the ebook version, which has all the content. So it's like a manual. You got the videos, which I think are very powerful, and you get to hear me talking. What's better than that? And then this ebook is a transcription with editing by me. My dad used to do all my editing, Bill Clarke. Oh, I'm not sure if Dad's listening. He's in heaven now. Probably not. He's got better things to do, along with my mom. But now I have to do it all myself. I edited this until you get the transcript of the whole video series, which I think is very helpful. Simply go to daviddclarkephd.com, Clarke with an E. And also, when you go there, you can watch a free introductory video, and we're also including a video on emotional detachment from the narc, which is a key part of the series, foundational part. So you can watch those videos for free if you want to decide to buy the series. Okay. All right. Let me interact a little more here, and then I'm going to go over some final material as we close out this live stream. And again, I want to mention this before I forget, and I'm working on a piece now, maybe for a future live stream, where you'd say, Dave, look, the narc has already turned my kids against me. It's a done deal. I didn't realize he was sneaky. I've lost them. And they're still minors. If they're adults, we got the adult children book. But adult children who break your heart. But if they're still minors, maybe you're still with the narc, maybe there's a separation, a divorce. Okay, that's a piece. And they're still minors. This product I've just recommended, I think, is going to be helpful for that. But I'm going to go a little further. For those of you it's already over with. Okay, there's a whole series of steps that I'm working on now, strategies to turn those kids who are already gone. I mean, he's got them. They hate you. They don't want to see you. They have to be forced to spend time with you. Oh, worse as it gets, how to even turn them back to you. Okay, even in the limited time you may have with them. There are strategies. So look forward to that in a live stream to come. A little more. I need these. Yeah, people need these strategies. Yeah. Yeah, minors, and he kidnapped them. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Narcs will do anything. And you know why? Well, they're narcs, and they're evil. But they also know this. The court system, the legal system in our country, America, is a farce. It's a joke. I hear horror stories every day. Narcs getting away. People get away with murder these days. And so the narc knows how to manipulate the system, and so you lose. He can kidnap them and get away with it. And, of course, that's legal. It shouldn't be legal. It's ridiculous. Again, how to fight back. Okay. 20 Lies, and I Didn't Want to Divorce, 2 of my books. This lady's saying they were very eye-opening, very good. Glad to help. Yeah. My adult children moved in with her. Yeah. They'll often choose the narc initially, but we can begin to turn them around. And they can begin to realize, oh, maybe dad is the problem, or mom is the problem, and I can reach out to the other parent who's the normal one. Yeah. Okay. Good lawyer. Narc found in contempt. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. And this is one of the key pieces in my book, Escaping Your Narcissist. If you're divorcing a narc, and I want you to, that's the book for you. Also on the website, Escaping Your Narcissist. That's the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. And one of those is getting the best, toughest attorney you can afford. Again, the best attorney in our system wins, even though the system's a joke. The best attorney wins. Tough, mean, Take no prisoners. Don't get the nice Christian attorney. They lose. You want to win and fight for your children and for money, frankly. And you've earned every penny. Okay, let me go over one more section here, and then we'll probably close things out. And thanks so much for your interaction. Number 4, the narc spoils the kids. This is a little overlap with the previous, but the narc spoils the kids. In his campaign to win over the kids, the narc will give your children many gifts and many freedoms. He's their best friend. Toys, money, TV time, screen time, later bedtime, new iPhone, drinking, alcohol, drugs, going to parties, smoking pot, viewing porn, cars, college tuition. He'll give them whatever they want. He'll take them to fun places, of course, without you invited. Parks, amusement parks, camping, boating, hunting, concerts. He just lavishes it on them. He's buying them, and it can be effective, very effective. These things aren't good for them, and they haven't even earned these things. That's what you're fighting. And when you're a kid, it's hard to resist. He's buying their loyalty, and that can be very effective. You tell each of your children words to this effect: to win you over and have you reject me. And again, all this material and much, much more is in the new product. But to win you over, you're talking to your kids, to win you over and have you reject me, your father will give you gifts and allow you to do things you haven't earned or are bad for you. You lay it on the line. They may not get it initially, but you're telling them. And you tell the child, when you are mean to me and disrespectful to me, you'll notice that your dad will reward you. Make the connections for them. All right? Mean to me, disrespectful, he will reward you. Notice that. When you are nice and loving to me, he will punish you by not giving you things. Okay? But get this, kids. When you're nice to me and we have a good relationship, appropriate, biblical, I will reward you. You continue. Each time he spoils you, and he's going to spoil you, he's already spoiling you, Timmy, Susie, I will publicly call him out right in front of you. I will openly disagree. He won't like that. There'll be some backlash, whatever. And you'll add, I will not support the spoiling in any way. They need to know that. So when he spoils them, you call him out when it's happening, and later in private, tell the child the truth in a brief statement. You're just going to lay it out there and move on. You'll say, he gave you that because you were mean to me. Do you see the connection there? He gave you that freedom so you will reject me. He spoiled you again. You didn't earn that gift. That's actually not good for you. Now, again, it takes a while for this to click. You have to tell your kids the truth because no one else is going to do it. The narc certainly won't do it. Okay, a little more interaction, then we'll close things out. I'm glad you're with me. We're going to keep doing these live streams every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. We're having fun interacting with people. People are talking about, oh yeah, the girlfriend. When they get a girlfriend, and let the kids know this, the narc will always have a new supply. So if you're separated, it's like a divorce for him. It's actually adultery. He won't care. He'll get a girlfriend. And then, of course, he'll marry after your divorce. Most narcs that are men will marry someone else because they can't stand to be alone. And they want someone else to control. Anyway, okay, and the kids will start to notice that chick will come first. Now that chick the new woman will suck up to them and be their friend. But again, you're going to be telling them truth about that. And they'll be replaced. And if this other woman has kids, your kids are going to take a back seat. And you're going to point that out. And that's part of drawing them back to you. Because most narcs, once they feel like they've won, they won't continue to lavish all these gifts on the kids. And they'll start to slack off. And that gives you an opportunity. Because they really don't care about the kids. They don't. And the kids will begin to figure that out and hopefully come back your way. This is good. Yeah, and this is a different thing, but physical abuse that they do that isn't hitting. Oh, yeah. A lot of things are violence that don't involve actually touching you. Threats of violence, that's violence. Threatening to, I highlighted this last week. The narc threatened to kill her. Okay, that's violence. Throwing things at you, destroying property, taking precious things, possessions of yours, family heirlooms, and trashing them, violence. Coming up, not touching, but coming up on your grill and puffing out his chest, not allowing you to leave a room, all physical violence. And actually, we cover that. There's a whole video in this new product on physical violence and what it is and what you can do about it. Yeah. What a great name, Catalina. Oh, my goodness. Catalina. I love that. She's thanking me for the live stream. Very good. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I had to watch my food. Oh, they'll literally poison your food. I'm telling you. Never eat anything the narc gives you. That's for sure. Yeah. Husband threatened to harm our child. Oh, yeah. I got a PO. Exactly. I didn't get to this tonight. But if a narc ever threatens a child physically or harms a child physically, okay, or is incredibly verbally abusive and ranting and raving, oh no, you're done. The marriage is over at that point. You're done, especially in the physical area. You will take that child and you will and all your kids, and you will leave the home, and you will call your support team, and you will call the police, and you are done. Got to protect your children. And when he's verbally abusing them, you will step in at the time. If you hear it going on in the back bedroom, you will come back there. You will kick that dumb door open if you have to, and you'll protect your child. Because if you don't, your children will realize, Mom doesn't protect me. I can't trust her. You will take the hit. You'll take a slap across the face, anything to protect your child. Now, if it's verbal, that's bad enough. That's violence too. And you'll say, shut up. Stop that. That's out of line. You're wrong. That's sinful. You'll take the child and get them away from the narc, and then you'll take the heat. Of course, you're both going to get away from him. Different part of the house. You are not going to allow that kind of thing to happen. Because the crazy thing is, in crazy land, if you don't protect them, they will side with the narc. Even though this horrible guy's abusing them, you can hold them and say, gosh, I'm sorry that happened. That's not good enough. You have to step in and intervene. And that will draw them back to you. Yeah, lying about infidelity. Yeah, that's a form of violence too. And narcs do cheat. Many of them cheat. Oh yeah, they'll accuse you of cheating like all day long, and you're not, and they are. Classic. Yeah. Okay, we got 2 minutes to go. We're going to wrap this up. So get your comments in. Yeah, this lady, Leah's gotten in front of her son to protect him. Good for you, Leah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You have a video series for after leaving. Not yet. This series is about getting ready to leave, more or less. In fact, more. But the leaving would be the escaping your narcissist. That's when you're preparing for divorce and divorcing him. All right? Yeah, that's gonna be for you. I tell you right now, we've got a book for everything. God's been so gracious, and we develop these materials. We have books. We have another video series, a compilation of a lot of my videos. We have this new product. We're bringing things out all the time, and you will find a product on my website, daviddclarkephd.com, that will meet your need for the entire escape process. 20 Lies talks about codependency and begins the process. Enough is Enough, the Moody Publishers book, talks about preparing, how to identify a narc, how to get ready to leave, escaping your narcissist for the divorce process. After you're divorced, healing and getting a reset in life, and even finding a new partner. If God has that for you, and He does for many of you, that is, I didn't want a divorce, now what? We've got it covered. Now this new, very aggressive series on really fighting back and getting strong enough to leave him, and finding your voice, and trashing the trauma bond, and saving your relationship with your children. You name it, in the area of narcissism, we got the plan. Okay. Yeah, Lindsay's thanking me for the live session. Thank you so much. Okay, we are done. It's 8:30. I'm shutting this thing down because the blonde misses me. She needs to see me. She wants to kiss my face at the front door, and we don't want to miss that. So thank you. Be a couple weeks from now, we'll let you know about a new live stream.